2, 1. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pixelstabbers. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight, we're talking about Photoshop. Is it worth it? How much does it cost? What do you use it for? Is it a great tool? Well, we use it. Jeremy uses it, right? Do you use it a lot, Jeremy?
I do. Yes, every
But
day.
you also have tools like Luminar and Lightroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you use Lightroom? Do you use Luminar?
I use everything.
You use everything.
I use
Okay.
everything.
I guess. So in this video, we'll talk about how Photoshop is great. But before we do that, Jeremy, since you say you use everything, how do you use everything? Like what do you use Photoshop for? What do you use Lightroom for? What do you use Luminar for?
Well, if I have to go through thousands of images,
Yes.
I will use Lightroom because this is how I categorize it. Lightroom is basically good for nothing editors, but it's a very
Good for nothing, but I still use it.
It's a good for organizing images. Let's say
Yes.
you have a whole other image and you just want to do very light edit, okay? So light edit, then that's fine. Like white balance, exposure, those sharpness here, but I don't do much of that. A lot of people do everything in Lightroom, I don't. One thing I don't like it because you can't really see exactly what you're doing. It's just all virtual stuff. They don't give you the actual pixels. And then another reason is when I start learning post-processing, Lightroom doesn't exist.
Dang.
And even though it come out, I try really hard to love it. I couldn't because it's the dumbed down version of a photo editing software. It's not even for professionals. They said
I consider myself professional.
it's for professional business owner that runs a business. But if we don't want to create art with it, not Lightroom. I'm sorry, my friend.
Agree. I will agree. Yeah, and I guess the strong point of Lightroom is that it's great for batch processing. When you have a lot of photos, it helps with your workflow because you can see all the pictures there, you can group them all, you can edit them, or you can call them and pick which one you want and delete the ones you don't want,
So
star
this
them.
is how I analyze
Yes.
Lightroom and Photoshop.
Okay.
If we go back to the good film days, okay?
Good film days.
So you know how when you have a film and you give it developers, they will use different temperature water, right? And different time to develop the film.
Yep.
And then also depends on how long they put under the projectors to get the light in, to get the exposure, right?
Yep.
That to me is Photoshop. And then also there's one that Lightroom. What is Lightroom? If you go to Walmart, you know how those like instant one hour photos? Yeah, they dump it in there and then boom, 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 boom. They give all those like simple photos.
Yep.
That's how I analyze Photoshop and Lightroom.
Fair enough. Oh, we got a comment from Ken on our Amazon live stream. He says he agrees as well. And he asked, what about Microsoft Paint? Do you use Microsoft Paint?
I think I used it like way back 20 years ago. Never again.
The funny thing is, I use Microsoft Paint a lot in my day-to-day work because I do a lot of diagrams and I do workflow as a software engineer and as a customer success engineer in the software department. I just like when you need to manipulate like diagrams and stuff, it's quick because you can just move pixels here and there.
I think they upgraded Microsoft Paint when they first come out with Windows 10 and then also have the service device with all the touchscreen. They upgraded Microsoft Paint. I think you do 3D stuff in there now.
Wow! And it comes
so
with Windows, so it's a free software, right? So that's a good point.
Wait, hold on. Is it? I don't have Microsoft Paint in my window, do I?
You definitely do. Yeah, Microsoft is Paint. Microsoft Paint is free.
I do have it. I do have it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they have a Paint. No, they have a Paint 3D and then a Paint. Right now, they have two different softwares.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yes, we use it sometime, but in this video we're focused on Photoshop, Lightroom, and Luminar 4. So we talked about a little bit about Lightroom, right? It's a great, non-feature rich, but easy to use, and it's very fast for process
the market is a non-destructive, well-organized photo editing software.
I love it. And then Luminar 4. You use Luminar 4, right? How do you work that in?
Luminar 4 has more function than Lightroom.
Yes.
It could create more creative stuff than Lightroom. The organizing is a little bit lagging. Like if you just organize your own stuff or you don't have a lot of photo to manage, it's fine. It's totally fine. But when it comes to, let's say, if you basically doing it for business and you have thousands of photos coming in per day, then I think Lightroom is a much better to be honest, within the industry, Lightroom has the best organizing skill there is.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I would say that is the strongest point of Lightroom is the organization.
But for editing, I'm sorry. You give me Lightroom, I don't know what to do.
It's got its strength, and to be honest, I use Lightroom for the majority of my edit because as a wedding photographer that shoots tons of picture, I pretty much spray the day with photos. So I end up with like 5,000-6,000 photos per wedding, and that's a lot. And I pretty much do the majority.
I get it, but then when I get a Lightroom, so all the stuff that you could actually do in camera, all the exposure, all the white balance,
yes,
increase the sharpness, you can picture all that in camera. So when I bring in a photo in the Lightroom, so I adjust the white balance, I adjust the exposure. All right,
Yes.
okay, remove some noise, a little cropping. What else can I do?
Nothing much.
Too much.
But that's all you need. That's all you need. And the ones
No, I need more. There's someone else maybe that's all they need, but I need more.
Well, yes, exactly. That's all I need for the majority of my photos. And then the 10 or 20 photos of that whole wedding day that I really want to bring out the best and move them up a couple of notches to the best they can be, then I take those photos to Photoshop. And there I might even use Luminar 4 for. And we're going to touch on Luminar 4 just a very little bit because this video is not about Luminar 4. But Luminar 4, just a little bit of detail, is basically using AI technology to take photo editing to another level and making it much easier for you to mask out things automatically. For example, you can replace the sky with the click of a button, or you can enhance the structure behind the people without affecting the people, or you can do portrait enhancement where you can use some sliders to make the eyes bigger, the lips more saturated, the cheeks skinnier without having to waste time cropping things out. Not cropping, masking things out. But that's in another video. We've done a lot of Luminar 4 tutorials, so check out those old videos on Amazon Live or on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/pixelstabbers or directly on our website at pixelstabbers.com. We have a lot of Luminar 4 videos there. Excuse me. But in this video,
Excuse you.
Yeah, excuse me. We're really gonna focus on ta-da! Photoshop.
Photoshop.
I love this photo, Jeremy. Did you use Photoshop to make this photo?
Yes, it was the background pretty much. It's like a really sucky background. I just kind of paint over it, replace the background. That's all.
Very nice. So the credit in this photo actually comes because you're such a talented photographer and you had such a beautiful model, right?
I think I did half and half. I'm really proud of all the lightings. I set up all the lighting. So all the lighting you see here, I don't do much hot dodge and burn. It's in camera like that. I have a lot of setup to get this done because I don't know if you know, but if you put a person in a helmet and you try to use flash to illuminate them, you could get in a lot of trouble. Yeah. So I have a lot of refactor here and there, try to bounce light back in. It's not even perfect. I mean, under the chin, you can tell there's
the color
in there.
I can see the color is a little bit less. There's less orange down here, just a tad.
Yeah,
I bet you there was a shadow, right?
Yes. So it's not perfect, but inside the helmet, there's a lot of junk, and I had to remove that. And also outside some, you can tell right now, but under the lip down there, the helmet's cracked, so I had to fix that. That's all.
Oh, interesting. I almost think that with the power of Photoshop, you could have taken the portrait without the helmet and then put the helmet in Photoshop. Would you think that might have been a better option?
No, because my shooting experience will be different. Like I rather shoot a bride with a helmet on, which is more fun shooting than a bride and then keep, Yeah, I mean, in a way, it looks like it's like Photoshop in, but it's not, because if you apply a lot of lighting onto certain subject, you feel like they're cut out, but they're not. It's just somehow the dynamic on the shadow and highlight were kind of abnormal, so it kind of give you like an abnormal vibe. That's pretty much it.
But anyway, it looks fantastic. Well done on that picture.
It took forever trying to get those catch light on her eyes, man. You see those catch light on her pupil?
Oh yeah, beautiful.
It takes forever to get those done.
Yeah. And so for something like that, you might actually benefit from using Luminar 4, because if you guys want,
I don't have Luminar 4
at that time, right? So if you guys want a good deal on Luminar, check out pixelstabbers.com/Luminar, and that takes you to Skylim's website. And if you use the coupon code PixelStabbers, you get $10 off too. But let me just show you really quick what Luminar is all about. Actually, normally you can check out this video on yourself to see what Luminar 4 is about, but I'm just going to scroll down to the portrait part because we were talking about the portrait and you see stuff like this, you can do really quick with Luminar, which Jeremy spent a lot of time doing manually because he did that photo when Luminar wasn't available. So look at all this, and you can do this all with just sliders. You see all these on the left here? These are all the sliders. You can adjust the face light. They adjust the face light. You can whitening the eye. You can enhance the eye. You can remove the dark circle on her eyes. Look at that. Look at those dark circles just go away. And look how big her eyes are after effect. Just really amazing. Then you got slim face. You see how her face is slimmed down in the before and after. Amazing. Eyebrow improvement.
I can do that in Photoshop.
You could, but all this, you don't need to mask anything. You just load up the pictures and you move sliders because the AI part, the artificial intelligence of Luminar 4, will pick out what part is the eye, which part is the lips.
That's the difference between Photoshop. Photoshop only get your hands dirty. You need to get your hand in there to get it dirty.
Yes.
While all this software like Lightroom, they just give you sliders. So it's kind of like, you know, when iPhone first introduced, there's no keypad. They said that everybody can do it. It's similar to that kind of concept. Everybody can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that a lot of professionals prefer not use Lightroom because they want to stay professional. But to be honest, the world is changing. You can't, you know, what you learned, it took you 20 years to learn. Now it takes 20 minutes to learn. So it's not the same world anymore, honestly.
To me, the end result is all that matters because your client, at least in the business world, your client is paying you for beautiful photos that they want to have and they want to share, they want to collect. So if you show your profile or your portfolio and all those photos look great like that, they want the results to look like that, and that's it. However you get there, it doesn't matter.
That's a funny thing. I have a discussion with one of my friends who got this question, like, what's the difference between business and art?
Yes.
Because artists, basically, they enjoy the process of making something. And sometimes even the process of making the art is the art itself.
Yes.
While doing a service and business is, like you said, it's the end result. They don't care how you get there. So a lot of people kind of struggle in between those two categories, right? Like, are you doing a service or business, and then yet you call yourself artist, and then you have art. But unfortunately, most artists are poor. They don't make money.
Ironically, yes, that is very true.
But then again, most of the artists' work, when they die, it worth money or in a museum. While the business owner, they have money while they live, but then all the work become useless when they die.
Yeah.
So it's like, depend how you see it.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, Luminar 4 can do so much more than just those portraits, but that's one of the features. So if you want to see more about Luminar 4, check out our website at pixelstabbers.com or go on your YouTube channel at youtube.com/pixelstabbers. But today we're talking about the Adobe Photoshop. Now, the reason why I bring this up, the Creative Cloud Photography package, is that this is a trick on how you get Photoshop cheaper. Because if you just go buy Photoshop on Amazon, and I'm not even going to include the link because I don't think this is a good deal, because if you just buy this, it's 12-month subscription with auto renew, and it's $20.99, so $21 per month just for Photoshop. But if you go to our link down below, this is the link to the Adobe Creative Live Photography plan that includes Photoshop and Lightroom, and it's only $9.99 per month. So you're getting two software
That's what I got.
for half the price. So
that's what I have. That's the plan I have.
Totally recommend it. I actually have the Creative Cloud All plan, and if you're curious about that, basically it comes with a lot, or it comes with all of Adobe's creative
more
suite.
than you don't need.
That is very true. It comes with a lot more than you need. It comes with everything. I think I spelled sweet wrong. Sweet. Is this pronounced sweet or suit?
I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
Don't call me on that. English is my second language.
No worries. So we're not going to talk about this today, but basically the full suite comes with like a whole bunch of stuff, including After Effects, Illustrator, Animator, Auditor, Dreamweaver, InDesign, bunch of other software, which is fantastic if you're doing photo editing in addition to video editing, After Effects editing, or animations, or you're doing illustrations, or you're doing music. So it does a whole lot. So this is something that we can talk about on a different video. But for now, Photoshop is great, but don't buy it for $20.99. Buy the Adobe Creative Cloud Photography Plan, which is $9.99, includes Lightroom and Photoshop. So Lightroom is great for managing a large number of photos and just streamlining that and doing batch edits and whatnot. And then Photoshop is for when you want to go in depth in the photo and spend some time to manipulate and get whatever result your mind can imagine. Right, Jeremy?
Okay, I want to clarify that the Lightroom comment is my personal feeling. A lot of people use Lightroom straightly and never touch Photoshop.
Yeah.
So those are professional too, just so you know that. But I just keep bashing Lightroom every time I see it because that's how much I hate it.
It's okay, because when you bash those people, you're bashing me. Because when I told you I shoot weddings, I shoot and I just edit with Lightroom. I don't mind. I don't mind that you bash me. But
you know what? I still love you, right?
Of course. That's why we're business partners. That's why we are pizza stabbers, and that's why we're gonna stab each other, and that's why we call ourselves pizza stabbers, right? But
that's a blind spot there. I didn't realize I stabbed you already. So
no worries. That's okay. I'll get you back later. But yeah, I use Lightroom for pretty much all my weddings, and only the time when I use Photoshop is when I
I use Lightroom too.
Yeah,
I use Lightroom for wedding too. So
but I can use it predominantly all. Like even at some weddings, I can do only Lightroom. I don't even touch Photoshop. Yes.
I do two things though, because I do upsell stuff. Either upsell retouch and upsell album.
Yeah.
I don't do any of my upsell stuff from the photo to album in Lightroom. I go back to Photoshop and make the crap out of it so that it worth the money. Because I charge a lot.
Right. And the time when I don't use Photoshop is for the lower budget package that don't want the album, right? They just want beautiful pictures, and for that I save time and they get a better value. Just Lightroom and just edit so it looks natural, looks simple, looks good. It doesn't have to look extravagant, which is what I could have done if I spent a couple hours on each photo in Photoshop before I put them in an album for them, right? So
I basically have two types of client. One, they want consistency. I use Lightroom because what Lightroom gives is actually consistency. Because one thing they do, they have copy and paste on the styles. So every picture can be consistency. And I have clients that want every picture to look different. Then I use Photoshop.
Yes.
But somehow majority of people want consistency. So that I find that boring. Sorry.
Yep. Well, let me actually show you a couple of this. So this is the Adobe Creative Cloud Plan, right? It brings amazing photography apps directly to your desktop and mobile devices. We'll talk about that too because there's even mobile versions of Photoshop and Lightroom. I don't know if you used those before, Jeremy.
I tried it, but I couldn't able to get what I want to get done in a mobile device.
Yeah, it's limited for sure. I think the only mobile device that's I feel really comfortable using it on is the iPad Pro, just because that thing has a beefy processor and there's a lot of features you can do on it. But ultimately, if I have a laptop and I'm traveling, I'd rather just use the desktop version.
I do not own one single Apple products, right?
I should, because you're the anti-me.
And why? I have a service with a tablet. It runs full Photoshop and Lightroom there. And the touch screens is a tablet. Yeah. So I don't have to run apps. Sorry.
Well, when you're an Apple fanboy like me, can't help it. Surface doesn't run Apple OS, doesn't run iOS, so it just doesn't work for me. I'm in the ecosystem, man. I want to get my iMessage.
Hackintosh.
No, Hackintosh is another world, but it doesn't.
You want to send it to?
Seriously, Apple? Siri, be quiet.
I fail you.
Siri? I tell Siri to be quiet and then Siri activates because I said her name. Dang it. Anyway.
Siri.
Stop. No, don't. Jeremy, don't. Stop. That's so annoying when they activate my SIRI. I'm not going to say it because SIRI will activate it. Anyway, so you can do all this in Lightroom and Photoshop. Here's just kind of like the mobile app version of it, right? The mobile app is great when you're like on the go and you're like,
I think when you purchase those package, it
Yes.
comes to all the mobiles that you can download on your phone too.
Exactly. And that's why it's so great because for $10 a month, right, you're getting Lightroom and Photoshop, both the desktop and the mobile version. So that's like 4 pieces of software right there. And it's powerful.
Have you seen that little video they did with Photoshop? That's that one. This
Where?
one.
This one?
Lower. See, that is not a photography anymore. That's image making. That's art.
Yes, that's art.
That has nothing to do with photography. This is not about adjusting exposure, about
No.
white balance. It's not that. A lot of people don't realize that's what Photoshop do.
Yes, that's a very good point, Jeremy. I tend to forget that too because Lightroom doesn't do art. Lightroom is like the modern
It do
darkroom, right?
photos.
Yes,
Yeah.
like it's called Lightroom because it's a play on word with darkroom. And darkroom
Yeah.
in the old days when you process film, you can only just change what you captured. You can make it darker, lighter, change the bleach bypass mode to get the different effect, but you can't add other content to your photo. Whereas in Photoshop, you're manipulating this photo completely, right?
That's why within industry people know that Photoshop is more senior, because back in the film days, again, I don't know why I'm not that old, but I don't know why I keep going back to film days. On the darkroom,
Yeah.
people who process all the film just as it goes, exposure,
Yeah.
those are the juniors. And the senior developer, they actually know how to cut all the film in different part and piece them together, like just like Photoshop. Those are the
No
seniors.
way. I didn't know you can do that with film. That's crazy.
Why do you think Photoshop exists? Because film basics started off. They cut off all the positive film and key them together and put it in as a frame. And so that whole film, even this film developed, is fake. It's all doctored together.
Wow.
There's a lot of master photographer back then, even with street film, they do the same thing.
I can imagine because we just live in the digital age right now, but before that, the analog version has their equivalent, although it probably looks not nearly as good. But
If you go to LA Gallery Museum,
yeah,
I think they constantly have a couple of those galleries in there as a photographer who doctor every single of the image in films, and they have a gallery there. You can check it out.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I would be surprised to see. I would be impressed to see that. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But that's a very good point, Jeremy. That Photoshop, you're manipulating the photo because unless you can find a real mermaid, obviously they added the tail on here, right? And then they added the chair. They probably rotate her around so that she's in this orientation. Added reflection. Added the jellyfish. I mean, this whole thing is doctored up 90%, right? They pulled in different elements from all different pictures and different props and
I
stock
lost
footage.
my skill set because when I first learned Photoshop, that's what I do. And then I got into photography. Photography, people think, you're too out of this world. You got to come back to Earth, be normal. So I slowly do it less and less, this kind of composite thing. And now I forgot how.
It comes back. It's like riding a bike. Oh, hey, Paul Hun just joined our live stream on YouTube. He says,
What's up, Paul?
"What's up? Yeah, hey Paul, how's it going, man? We're talking about Lightroom and Photoshop today."
I guess a lot of people just like, I don't sleep, do they? Or is it
Yeah.
just because it's Friday?
Yeah, you're up really late, Paul. What's up with that? But yeah, thanks for tuning in into our live stream, and thanks for checking us out. We're talking about Photoshop and Lightroom today. And if you don't know, you can get it pretty cheap on Amazon right now for $10 a month. It gives you
Bucks.
Photoshop and Lightroom. Can't ask for more than that. I mean, it kind of sucks that it's a subscription plan, so it recurs every month, but $10 a month, Lightroom, Photoshop, good stuff. And so you can get your image looking amazing like this. And Paul said, nice. Yep, it is nice. And also, don't forget, you get Lightroom. You get Lightroom Classic.
Classic.
You get Photoshop, and you get Photoshop Express. So this one is optimized for the mobile device, and I believe Lightroom here is optimized for the mobile device. The classic one is the desktop version, and then this Photoshop is the desktop version. Yeah, and this one also has.
Personally,
the
I
Photoshop
use
iPad too.
Snapseed over Lightroom. And then my mobile.
Yep. Oh yeah, Paul agrees it's a great deal, and he also pays for Creative Cloud. So Paul, do you pay for the Creative Cloud with Lightroom and Photoshop, aka the photography plan, or do you do the full Creative Cloud suite, which is like Premiere, Animator, Illustrator, and all the other suites too? I'm curious, Paul. But we'll wait for Paul to respond. But yeah, so the deal today for $10, you get all this software, which is a bargain for $10 a month. And the cool thing is, like, before the subscription plan, you had to buy Photoshop and you have to buy Lightroom. Do you remember how much Photoshop cost and when you had to buy it all out, Jeremy? Back in the day?
$3.99,
No,
$2.99.
I think it was like $6.99 or $5.99 for Photoshop.
Oh, that's like way back. That's like way back. Which in a good old day you could charge more in photography too. So you actually make your money back real soon.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Paul is he goes all out, man. He's got the full suite.
Baller.
He's a baller. Yeah, I have the full suite too. So, Paul, you and I, we connect so much. We have GAS and SAS, Software Acquisition Syndrome too, because we want all the Adobe suite. So GAS is Gear Acquisition Syndrome, because Paul and I, we just collect gear, even though we don't use it. I think Paul right now wants to sell his 14mm rectilinear Canon lens. So if anyone wants one, yeah, he's trying to get rid of it.
Don't own a piece of Canon piece at all, so can't help you on that.
Paul remembers I introduced him back to Photoshop back in high school, the late 90s. Oh man, that's true.
It's your fault then.
Yeah,
it's your fault, detective.
Yes, we used Photoshop back in the day. So, hey, what parts are included? So, yeah, you guys can go over all this and let's just check out what Photoshop has to offer. So, Photoshop is really the discussion today. And if you get the Creative Cloud photography package, you get Photoshop and Lightroom. But just because you have both doesn't mean you know how to use both, right? So we want to illustrate the power of Photoshop today. That's really the focus. We talked about Lightroom earlier and what the strength is for that, but we want to focus on Photoshop today in this video because we want to show how powerful it is. And you can see this is the picture that Jeremy was pointing out, right? And she's doing the iPad here. You see how she manipulates the text, and this is not the same photo, but like all this manipulation, that's Photoshop. That's stuff that you can't do in Lightroom. And you're moving the chair and whatnot. So that's what Photoshop can do. So powering the creative world. The world's best imaging and graphics design software is at the core of just about every creative project. From photo editing and compositing to digital painting, animation, graphics design. And now you can harness the power of Photoshop across desktop and the iPad to create whatever inspiration strikes. So it's pretty powerful. It's used in the industry everywhere, right? So everyday photography totally transformed. Our professional photography tools make it easy to do everyday edits or totally transform images across desktop and iPad. You can do simple things like crop, remove objects, retouch, and combine photos. And you can play with colors and effects and reimagine the art of photography. Like, this is Photoshop. You can manipulate and do whatever you want with the photos.
Pretty much.
Yep. So design is in their DNA. Posters, packaging, banners, websites, all the design project. Yeah, thumbnails, like our thumbnail today that Jeremy did. I mean, I love our thumbnail. Look at that. Good job, Jeremy. Look at that thumbnail.
It's a simple one.
Remember, simplicity is actually not easy, and it's definitely something to not overlook because Apple products, which I'm a fan of, they're always simple, but it's not easy to make a product simple, and it's not easy to make a beautiful photo simple too. So if you make something simple like that and it looks great, it captures the eye.
It's about colors. It's about the colors.
Great choice. Great colors. And yes, so design is in the DNA of Adobe and definitely in the design of Photoshop. All your design projects starts with Photoshop. Combine photos and text to create entirely new images. Work with unlimited layers and masks and paint with brushes that you control with the stylus or touch on your iPad. And I guess there's one thing that they forgot. Oh, a stylus. So you have a stylus too, right? What do you use? Yeah, there you go.
I got a Wacom.
Yeah, Wacom tablet. And why do you use a stylus with a Wacom tablet versus like a mouse?
A mouse don't have pressure points, while this I could push down to control how much ink I want to put on to the brush.
Yes. Yeah, and that's actually a big difference because you have the pressure sensitivity. It's like just kind of like thinking about if you were to draw a picture with a pen with a very fine tip versus using a pencil where you can shade a little bit, right? It's not the same dynamic, but you have more dimensions to your pointing device, like an actual
It's not
paintbrush,
well. The mouse
right?
can do that too, but you have to go for different loops with your
Yes.
keyboard and control a lot of things to get that same result. Why all you need is a pen and
pressure.
depends on how much you push
Right.
into the pressure to get that done. And more like in the high end of Photoshop, retouching is when you get to the skin retouching and also
Yep.
dodge and burn. You really need this to get a
Yes.
natural look.
Yep, exactly. But you know, the nice thing about the mobile app being powered on the iPad is now you can use the stylus of your iPad because the iPad actually has a very good Apple Pencil and it's just
So-
as pressure sensitive as
You know
that.
what? I always have this question. Let's say
Yeah.
if you do all of that thing in your iPad, right? A lot
Yeah.
of people use iPad to what you can call it, edit.
Yeah.
Right. So the iPad itself, where are you gonna store the photo? Let's say if you have 250 gig of waiting photo, how are you gonna put that into the iPad and edit?
256 gig, you're not gonna edit all those photos, right? Just like when you
Well,
have a
my
whole wedding.
workflow is basically for everything in there and
Yeah.
go in the Lightroom and do my filtering in there.
Yeah, so 256 gig, you probably want a 1 terabyte iPad or half
Yeah,
a terabyte.
but can you? But would it be too slow?
No, you could transfer everything in there.
How long did that take?
It would take you a little while. I mean, the workflow is not as streamlined
And
as
also,
your...
does the Lightroom in iPad require internet to run, or you could do without internet?
I don't think you need internet, but don't quote me because I don't use it that way. I mean, using mobile devices is actually very advanced or very modern and new. I am old school like you, Jeremy. I use the desktop version, and I
Because
find
I
it
still
totally
don't trust
fine.
cloud right now. I mean, let's say if I'm editing on the plane, I
Yeah.
trust my external hard drive and plug it into my, service rather than,
Well, these pictures here, when you use PSDs on your iPad, Photoshop layers, they are actually local on your machine. They're probably duplicated on the cloud, but when you don't have connection to a cloud, it runs off the local file. It's only when you have internet that it bounces directly
Okay.
to the cloud. Yeah, and I don't think you need internet to run the software. Because
Okay,
you bought the
that's
software.
more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more comfortable because at first I keep thinking like everything's in cloud. Then
Yeah.
what happened if I try to do my editing on the plane?
Yes, yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I get nothing done.
Yeah. In fact, I think that's that's the primary reason why I would use iPad with Photoshop. Just because when I'm on a plane or I'm traveling from destination to destination, it's cool to just work on this tablet because it's a whole different experience. You don't have to be stuck to a
Oh,
laptop.
you mean like the
right?
one that I have, the tablet?
Surface? Yeah. Surface works fine too, right? Because you have the pressure sensitive pen and then you have just the tablet because it's easier to work with. It's a nice experience, especially when you're on the go. And that's the great thing with this creative cloud photography package because it comes with Lightroom, Photoshop, but also the mobile version. So you can use it on your Surface, you can use it on your iPad, you can even use it on your iPhone and mobile phones too. So pretty versatile. So now, one thing that's cool about Photoshop when you buy the subscription plan is that you're always getting the latest version. That's the best part about the subscription
Yeah,
plan.
you have
Because
the latest version.
even if they change to a whole new version, right? Because back in the days when you have Photoshop 5 or Photoshop 6, when they come out with Photoshop 7, you don't get that update. Because you can upgrade to all the versions in 5, and then that's it. If you go to number 6 or they go to number 7, you're out of luck. You have to upgrade and you have to pay. Whereas now, because you're on the cloud, you're on the subscription cloud, whatever version they go to, you always get the latest version. That's a huge advantage of the subscription. Although it ends up costing you more, That's the pro.
I think I still have one of those. Oh wait, no, I threw it away. Darn it! I was gonna save it. I have the old version of a Photoshop CS5 box with me.
That's classic. Yeah. I should go on eBay and buy that right now because I think there's value in it. And back like 10 years later, that's going to be like an antique. It's like, what? A
I
box
did.
with
I don't know if you can
CSI?
see back there. I have. Have you know that magazine, Popular Photography magazine?
Yeah.
That one no longer. I have their like
Full collection.
1980, 1970 old magazine in there.
Wow.
I bought it. I bought it from eBay. I saw that. I bought it right away. So that's gonna be a classic.
Yes, for sure. Should take care of that. So this is some of the new features of Photoshop. You got fill faster and blur better. So enhances the functionality. So our latest software release delivers improvements you've been asking for. Lens blur now offers a more natural and realistic look when blurring an object in the background. Oh, sorry, when blurring an object in the foreground. Oh, interesting. It does make the blur look nicer for the object in the foreground here.
Mm.
Improved content-aware fill gives you a more creative control by letting you fill multiple areas of an image without leaving the window. Oh, have you tried that feature, Jeremy?
Sort of. It depends. You know, like for something like that, they're simple image, but you saw my work. They're all complicated. It doesn't work as well. You need a lot of doctoring.
Yeah. So here's like these are also new features. You got the object selection tool. You can create fast and precise selection by drawing a simple rectangle or lasso around the object and then let Adobe Sensei do the rest. I've tried this. I think it's great, right? Because normally before you had like the magic wand to click around and you have to change the tolerance of your brush. But now with this quick selection tool, you just draw a box around it and it's smart because it analyzes what's in the box and it's like, this is probably the subject that they want and this is probably the subject that they don't want, and they can figure it out and help you crop or mask select your object much
Yeah,
quicker.
that doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work when you have complicated objects and where the object in the background blends together a lot. When you have good contrast between your object and your background, it works pretty well. So it's a feature. You don't have to use it, and sometimes you just can't use it, but it's there nonetheless.
I use it sometimes if I took simple pictures.
So you have enhanced transform warp. I like the transform warp because it's cool. You can manipulate, like this is the moon, and you can warp it any way you want. You can add more like pixels or more points to pivot above.
You have full control of the warping. Yes. So it's pretty fun.
It can constrain some dimensions too if you want to. Like if you want to parallelogram and stretch it that way only, or you can just do whatever you want. I love it because you can really manipulate stuff. Like I had some wine barrels I wanted to manipulate in a picture, but they were just slightly the wrong orientation. I was able to warp it so that it matches all the orientation of all the other wine barrels. And it looks like it came from the actual picture.
Like they said, your imagination is the limitation.
Exactly. And I hope I have no limitation, because my imagination can grow. Anyway, so with more
I
control,
wish my credit card has no limitations.
Oh, yeah. Pretty soon it will be. Pretty soon it will be. Because if you set your mind to it, Jeremy, you can accomplish it, and I'll help you accomplish that together. So with more control, in the warp tool, you can add control points anywhere or divide your image with a customizable grid. Then transform by individual nodes or larger selections. So yeah, you can just move the nodes, you can move everything, and it just works so well, so well. And there's two other features here. You can improve properties. Oh, they have a new improved properties panel.
Yeah, it has more features and controls in there, so it helps a lot.
Nice. So find even more of your controls you need in a central location. Easily change document settings, access all types of layer settings, and use convenient quick actions. Very nice. And you know what? I love Adobe Creative Cloud because it's so easy to update to the latest version because it's almost instantaneous. Whenever there's a new version, it says, hey, there's a new version. You click update.
Just click.
Yeah, and while you're having your coffee, it is done. And then you open up Lightroom, you open up Photoshop. It's like all these new features just happen to appear. So it's nice that you're on a subscription because you always get the support and you always get the latest version of software easily to download and update right away. And this is the last of the new feature, the modern presets. So presets are easier, more intuitive, and better organized. Discover new gradients, patterns, switches, layers, styles, and shapes. Nice. Very cool. And of course, you got the portability. If you notice, they're editing this on the iPad. So now
It sucks that they don't work with Microsoft.
Well, with Microsoft, you are just using Windows. So you're using a desktop version. It's actually,
No. I mean, the company don't work with Microsoft well.
Why would you say that?
You know how Microsoft had the dial and every other hardware that actually made a ring?
Yes.
They never implement functions for those devices.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Adobe.
Sorry. Oh, then you just should get an iPad.
No.
iPad.
Never.
iPad.
I'd rather die.
You didn't say. I'm going to buy you an iPad.
No. Well, actually, yeah, I'll take it and I'll sell it for the money.
Dude. All right.
All right.
Cool. So, powerful meets portability. The creative power of Photoshop is now on your iPad. Open full-size PDS.
I'm getting bored. You want to play Photoshop or want to talk Photoshop?
Let's read this one last bit right here, and then let's play some Photoshop.
Okay.
That sound. All right.
That
so
sounds
this perfect. So with this Adobe Photoshop on your iPad, you can open full-size PDS, create sophisticated composites, retouch images, and control brushes with your finger or your Apple Pencil. And we're just getting started. So stay tuned, and they're gonna roll out a ton of features in this iPad portable version because, like Adobe says, it's pretty new, but they got lots to go. So fire up Photoshop, Jeremy, and let me know when you're ready to share your screen so we can demonstrate some of the power of Photoshop desktop version today.
Do I share a screen? Okay, I just shared.
Shared?
Okay. Shared.
Cool. Let me bring up the screen share. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Perfect.
You know
We're
what?
in Adobe Bridge.
Yeah, that's what I use to manage my image and open my images.
Cool. And I believe Bridge is free, right?
It comes with.
Okay.
So I'm just showing like how much you can do with Photoshop, like for this.
Ooh.
Dun, dun. See, basically we remove all that.
Layers.
And that's what Lightroom can do, especially textures. Look at the texture I add.
Oh, look. Oh, wow. Many layers of texture and opacities and different blending modes. Dude, so many layers. Oh my gosh, how many layers do you have in this freaking picture?
Oh no, around 20. My highest record is 66 layers.
Wow. And your computer is like 6 years old, right? And can still handle it like chat.
Oh, no. Photoshop is really good because like the way they manage cache and memory is really good. I always have problem managing cache and memory in Lightroom though for some reason.
Yes, Lightroom isn't good because it's just because it's not designed to handle layers. So every time they're doing another brush implementation, they're adding another layer.
I know.
If you use the brush like 5 times, that's like 5 layers. You use the brush like 10 times, that's 10 layers. And sometimes it's not hard to use a brush like 100 times. So you have a picture that's 100 times layer, and if you have a big image file, that's 100 times the file size. So it gets
Let's
really
play with
big.
this picture.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that Photoshop has really cool is called liquify.
Liquify. I like liquefaction, but sometimes I overdo it, and it doesn't look good when you overdo it.
So the new ones right now it's pretty cool. Basically, I don't need to go anywhere. It look for the face already, right?
Yep.
See, look at that. Just basically, it's kind of like how Luminar is. You can see it?
No, my screen is a little bit small, so I need to enlarge my screen. Actually, yeah. Okay, there it is. I made my screen bigger. Can you show that effect one more time? I'm curious. I didn't see it.
Good eyes.
Ooh! Whoa! Wait! How did you do that? Did you need to mask the eyes?
No.
What?
It basically found a face and it identify the eyes, and you could basically make it bigger, right?
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So
Yep.
for in this case, it's even better because the left and right eye are right now is linked. I could actually
Uh-huh.
make one smaller, one bigger.
Ooh.
It has so much control.
So like if someone is kind of like not symmetrical, you can fix
And
them.
you can fix it, yeah. Right.
Wow.
And
Oh
then
my
you could also
gosh.
see
This,
this is
this
different. This is making the eyes higher. You see how that is? It's not bigger.
Oh, right.
This one makes the eye wider.
What? This is so cool. I never knew this was
And you could
in
tilt,
the
you
liquidation
could
tool.
tilt this,
So crazy.
right? And you could also adjust eyes distance.
What? That's so sick.
And for the nose, you could control the height of the nose
Oh yeah.
and the wide of the
Wow.
nose.
Can you zoom in your
And
face a little bit more so
oh
we
yeah,
can
of
see
course.
the effect?
Sorry, my bad. There you go.
Yeah, cool. Whoa,
Right.
this just oh my gosh. I've been using Luminar for all these effects. Now I don't know if I even want to use Luminar anymore. I'm sad because I
Well,
bought
this is one
Luminar.
thing that wedding photographer in Portugal want to use. Because say if they're not
Yeah.
spelling, not a problem. Here,
What? What? That's
you can make
creepy.
them smile.
You can make an animated GIF from this. That's so freaky.
Yes, am I?
You totally could,
And you
man.
can lower the lips, make it bigger.
What? That's some thick lips. Wow. Oh my gosh.
You have smaller, wider.
This is so cool, man. This is so cool. I
And
never
for
knew
the
Photoshop
face,
can do this.
and
This
the
is
face,
new,
you
right?
control the forehead. It's been around for the last 4 or 5 versions.
Which is what, 1 year? Or are we talking about 2 years?
It is 2 years.
Oh, 2 or 3 years?
So,
It's funny because I never used it because when I use liquefaction, I always just use the brush and just move pixels around. I never
oh no
knew
no no
you
no!
can do this.
This is what they do now. This is what they do now.
Oh, this is
So this
really cool.
So you can control the whole face just in this face aware liquid
Mm-hmm.
face. And the cool thing is, I wish I could show you. So maybe I can. It actually can detect multiple face.
Ooh, so if you take a picture and it has like two people and it will detect
Let's try
face
this
one and
one.
face two,
Let's assume let's see if they can find it on this one.
it's
Sometimes they can, sometimes don't.
right because it's kind of small in this picture, right?
They do. See face one and face two.
What? Nice. All right, do something crazy. Wow, make their eyes bigger.
They use two. Let's play with it now. They can't see.
Oh, what? Yeah, you can totally see. You can zoom in a little bit too. That's pretty crazy. That's so cool.
Smile. There.
Yeah, especially
And
grooms
he
that don't
smiles
smile,
too.
right? Oh, dude, you can totally impress the bride when you said, yeah, like, because the groom usually, well, sometimes I have grooms that just never smile. Like, you can't make them smile. You can tell them a joke and they won't even crack. But you can make them smile in Photoshop.
Oh yeah, it's fun. So that's one of the tools that quite powerful in
Yep.
Photoshop that
That's a
a
cool
lot
tool.
of us can do.
I'm learning new stuff right here, Jeremy. Thank you.
And then so it deals with raw file as you can tell, right?
Yep. Obviously.
Right, that was it. So
Yeah.
it works pretty well on all that. Basically all this you see in Lightroom too, right?
Yes.
Pretty much.
So Camera Raw isn't part of Lightroom, but because when you have Lightroom, you can download Camera Raw, right? The license is part of Photoshop, or how does that work? Do you know?
Camera Raw comes with both Bridge and Photoshop. It doesn't
Okay.
come with Lightroom. Lightroom don't have it. Lightroom has its own engine.
Okay.
It's different. You think that what you do in Lightroom is Camera Raw. It is not. And here's the reason. It shares similar function, right? Exposure, you basically control that, pretty much. Lower that, getting it bright, all that stuff. Getting color. Now, what it doesn't have is this. This is aligning. It doesn't really show, but you could play with all this.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people
yes.
didn't realize that because I'm working on a raw file. This is all raw pixel, okay? So
Yes.
when I do this kind of adjustment here, it's the waters. It's just it concerns the most. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say if you take a picture of architecture is shifted, then for example, you could do this to straight out the line, but this one is like a 85 millimeter zoom in, so it's everything's
It's pretty
straight.
straight already.
It's
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah.
But
If
you
you
can
shoot like
always
with a
tell that
wide angle, like 15,
it is
16
pretty well.
millimeter.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
tilted a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
if I go A means auto, it will check out where's the auto
Ah.
horizontal line. It helps you shift a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I can see like the roof line of the car is more horizontal now.
And then in a couple of versions back then, when they have this, so one thing cool about it is they have orange here. While in Photoshop you can't
Yes.
really pick orange,
I love
right?
the orange picker because it's so important, especially when I was
Right. It's a
working
steep tone.
on. I was actually working on some photo pictures that have a lot of orange. I was working on a wine bottle, but the wine was orange, and I wanted to make it a little bit darker, but I couldn't do it in Lightroom. I needed Camera Raw to adjust the orange. I love that orange slider so much. It's really good.
It is. So, okay, let's just consider this is done. Oh, here's a cool thing. I think Lightroom had this function too. If I go to sharpen, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I push Alt on my keyboard and move around,
Yeah.
it become black and white.
How does that help?
So I could able to see the lines to sharpen it. Okay. See, if I don't do that, it's more there's a lot of color in there. Some people got distracted, right?
Ah,
If I go
okay.
black and white,
Yeah.
then I can see it.
Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
if you see it right now, like see when I do this is manual,
Yeah.
even the phase line got sharpened, right?
Yes.
Everything got sharpened.
Yeah.
And that's where you go to mask and select. You could do a mask in the raw.
Whoa.
So I basically anything is black,
Yeah.
it's not sharpened. The white is
Yeah.
sharpened. So I just want a line, so you can do that.
Oh, that's
So
so
I don't have those
cool.
like crazy skin lines. But
Yes.
same thing on
What?
this
That's
on the.
neat. That is so neat. I've been
So
using Photoshop for 10 years and I never dug into these features. Like that
I don't
masking
think you
is
can
really
see it
cool.
right now, but it
Yeah.
it
It
basically the
sharpens
picture
it.
looks much sharpened and much more
Yes.
clear now.
Yeah.
I just want with this picture I opened up more black because for the groom's eyes it's kind of in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a couple of new things because textures, you know, that's pretty cool. This is a new function they have texture. I think Lightroom have that too.
Mm.
But here's the cool thing. Let's assume this is done. Before people are grilling, oh man, I can only do that in raw because that's the only way I could go in the color and get orange.
Mm-hmm.
Lightroom got that all the time, right? Lightroom had that all the time. Did I
Yep.
hit OK yet? What's
I think it's loading, right?
maybe? What is going on?
I don't know. Did it crash?
No, it's right here.
Yeah, okay. Click open image. A lot of times
Yeah.
I forget and I click done and it doesn't do
Yeah.
anything.
So, cancel, you didn't, dum dum. So, one thing they did in Photoshop, I think like 2 version ago,
Yeah,
let's see, that duplicate that language. I mean,
Yeah.
layer.
yeah,
If I go to here, I have it's under filter.
yeah.
I got a camera raw filter.
What?
I get exactly same thing I do with every.
Oh, nice. You know what I have to do? I usually save it as a JPEG and then open it again as camera raw because I didn't know about this feature.
So if I want to deal with skin tone alone and be lazy about not doing the
Yeah.
retouch, I could go in here and do this.
Yes, and as another layer, you can change the opacity to blend it in with the previous
Oh
layer.
yeah.
Genius.
Total. So that and there's a lot of things we can do to play around. For example, if just assume the car color is not what you wanted, right? We
Right.
can change the car's color somehow.
What? You can do that?
Sort of. Let's see if I could do it right though.
Okay.
Solid color. That's color I want to change to. Yeah, that's a good color. Multiple. And I forgot if I did it right.
You
It's
got
been
his
a while.
hand in the shot.
I know this is for example only. What you
He's
expect?
the Hulk. She doesn't know it yet, but he's the Hulk.
So I think there's something you play around with
Oh
to
yeah.
get it done, but and then of course you want to tune it down a bit. Oh, not with this. What am I
Yeah.
doing? Oh, I have it. There you go. But we don't want that. We want to group that together and bring that up here. There you go. See, I have a mask that only affect that now. I want. I forgot how to do it. It's been a while, man. Shoot.
But you can see the
You
powerfulness of this.
yeah, you could basically change the colors in this easy.
So powerful.
Oh
man.
no, there are so many functions there that scare you away from using this. To be honest, there you go. That's what I'm looking.
What is that?
It's
Blending?
called blend if.
Ah. So is there a way you can blend if it's not his hand?
Yes, I can. You see how if I do this
Yeah.
now, that has the color kind of come out, right? But if I do that, you see how the shadow comes out.
Yeah.
Same thing goes to this.
Yep.
So I could break that and get that done. There's no highlight there, but pretty much the hand. Oh, that should be easy.
Mask it out.
Pretty much. That's what actually make it worse. Supposedly you could do a much better job, but then
Yeah.
I'm lazy today.
Well,
But
yeah, because we only got like 5 minutes left in this video to show off all the features. You can't show off all the features of the software, but you've done
So,
a really
you know,
good job.
just changing color. I mean,
Yep.
if you do a really good job, that's like pretty. It looks pretty decent. If you kind of lower it a little bit, change the color,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you can do that, stuff like that. This is something again Lightroom can do, and also I could add a lot of layers.
Can you
Let's
zoom
say
in
a
on the
good-
picture a little bit because it's small.
Sorry. Yeah, I work with small pictures all the time.
You know why you work with
And-
small pictures? So you can't see all the defects you have in your pictures. Stabbed. How do you like
Funny.
that, Jeremy?
I like that. I like that a lot. So I do this kind of thing to, kind of, shit, I lost my chain of thought. Oh,
You got
gradients. There we
stabbed
go.
too bad.
Yeah. To showcase, it's kind of give it a more depth, create like vignette-ish
Yeah.
for this unused negative areas and stuff. And a lot of time that I actually use this is the loot. Supposedly they built this for movies.
Whoa. Yes. I think it's pronounced LUT.
Lux.
Yeah.
So that different style lux they could use, which also apply to photos too. You could
Yes.
download them or you could create your own. But in this video, I don't have time to show you how to create it on your own. But
Yeah.
some of those you can basically apply for. It looks pretty darn. Look at that. Looks pretty darn good already.
Yeah. It's got the movie vibe to it because Lux.
That's what
just-
those are for.
Yeah. And basically, they're just a lookup table. They convert colors from one space to another space.
So one thing I do all the time with Photoshop is color grading. Color
you
grading
can-
is fun.
It is very fun. The thing I don't like about color grading is trying to be consistent between all your images, right? How do you?
That's why
how do
you save action.
Ah.
So I don't do that, and I have action. Boom. So every time you can get the same color,
What?
and if you want to,
That was so
Yeah.
fast.
that's what I call it. Well, you have what you call it, preset in Lightroom. So I
Yeah.
have this in Lightroom too. Look at that. That's my color grading
Yep.
right there.
Nice.
Done. It's a lot of fun with this. Most I do color now because I feel like I can control color better than Lightroom because I could, let's say, if I want to control certain colors, let's say I want the dress to be brighter, but you see how everything's brighter? I just basically using a mask, covering it up, and just brush it on the dress to saturate just the dress
Yes.
and nothing else. See, I like
Yep.
that, right? If I want to brighten a certain area, get a brighten up here, close it, and just kind of brush on the face.
So you
right?
just brighten the entire image, but you mask only the part that you want to show.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. Is that how it's designed to be used?
Yes.
I never used those.
That's the whole point of layers, because you see how layers,
Yeah.
it just add as every one is like a transparent paper.
Yeah.
And you can apply on it and stack and create different effect. And you can, well, one of the function is this is all applied globally, but then because of the mask, you could hide certain part that you don't want to get effect.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do a whole lot. This is all manual things, right? So it's pretty cool stuff. Also, let's see what else is fun here. So they have a lot of filters. You could you know that, and also a lot of plugins. See, even Skylab Luminar 4 is one of the plugins.
Hey, you convinced Paul to want to get back into photography again.
That's cool.
Oh, interesting. Because Paul said half of his battle was post-processing. Oh, well, Paul, you should know Jeremy is the post-processing expert in our team duel here. He's been using Photoshop and Luminar to do post-processing for over 15 years. In fact, his background is a digital artist to begin with, so digital graphics artist. So he has a background in post-processing, in photo manipulation.
So unfortunately,
unfortunately, it brings another world of creativity to your work. So so if you get inspired by this, Paul, you definitely get back into Photoshop, get back into photography, so you can play around with it. With the technology right now, it makes it even easier with all the new features of Photoshop and all the new features of Luminar 4. Really good stuff.
Okay, I know we're one at a time, but I just want to show one more thing before I close this. There's one other thing that can do, Luminar can do, Lightroom cannot. Okay, for example, this is boring, right?
Yep.
Well, let me do a little doctoring here first before I do anything crazy. Okay,
so
that's
Paul
cool.
used to outsource all his photos to India in the late 2000s.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I could actually add texture. So one thing that Photoshop can do and Lightroom can is I can add and subtract pixels in a photo. For example, this is what I did.
Oh, wow.
Add the textures.
Yes.
But
now you got texture all over her face, man.
I know. I'm just like debating, should I show my secret here in this video or not? All right, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. So let's go back to normal first. One thing before you do this is convert this to a smart object. All right?
Ooh.
So my texture right now is a smart object. And I go to blur, blast and blur.
Oh,
Blur the hell out that I don't see the texture, only the colors. A little bit more. Right. And hide it. So like that. Now I go multiply again, and in this smart object layer, if I get my brush it, and just get a big brush and
Failed.
never mind.
Failed.
No, it's white.
Oh,
There you
okay. There you go. And you got the color of the texture, so it looks very
go. You got a
natural.
texture. Because a lot of people basically just mask it out, but then when you mask it out, you disconnect it. You don't.
Yes.
The texture.
I love this. I love this.
This is a texture secret people don't know about, and only Photoshop can do this.
Nice. Very cool.
All right, I think I'm done with this.
That is such a treat. Thank you, Jeremy. That is so cool.
Stop sharing.
That is awesome. I learned so much about Photoshop. I thought I knew Photoshop pretty well, but you just showed me some cool tricks there, especially that last bit about the texture. That is awesome. I never realized that, and basically it's not that hard. You just make another layer and you just blur the heck out of it, but you got the color, and then you can control that to mask out the face. Very cool.
A lot of people just basically brush away the texture on the face.
Yes.
But that's actually one way to do it.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Well, in a nutshell, Photoshop is powerful, so definitely we can't show you all the features of Photoshop, but we showed you enough of it to kind of give you an idea of what Photoshop can do.
I think that you pretty much answered the question, right? Is Photoshop worth it? Yes, it is.
You answered the question, Jeremy. It is worth it. And
I mean, just liquefy the face itself
yes.
is worth it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see any other program that can detect different face. If you have like a fan picture of 4 or 5, it will detect all the faces.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, and Paul said, "Ah, here's a nice reward for you, Jeremy. Look at that.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah. So awesome. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for your awesome comment. You're awesome, Paul." So yeah, for $10, you don't even need to choose between Photoshop and Lightroom. You get both.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
I think one of the workflow I usually do is, well, I don't know. At one point, the update is not that good, but what I usually do is work in Lightroom if I'm wearing image. If I need to doctor it, I will go in Lightroom and right-click and edit in Photoshop on the image. So you can work both software at the same time in a way.
Yeah.
They go hand by hand.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention this gives you 20 gigabyte of cloud storage too, which is really great.
I never use them. I have those cloud storage. I never use them though.
You don't use it, but like if you start working on your iPad, right? You just go over to your mobile device and you could connect to the cloud. You can save your PDS right on the cloud, and you go to your mobile device, bring it back in. Or you can have some smart objects.
I never have Wi-Fi on train or plane, so I can never use those cloud stuff.
Of course you do. You have your hotspot with you. You're just too lazy. You're lazy.
My hotspot is cheap. I have a cheap plan. They have 4G for the first 20 minutes, and then after it become 2G, so it's so slow.
Oh yeah, 2G is useless. Yeah. Well,
The
anyway,
hotspot is useless.
you got option, photography plan. If you don't use your 20 gigabyte, don't use it. But it comes with it. I think if you buy the Photoshop one by itself, it doesn't even have a storage plan. So definitely don't get Photoshop by itself. I don't even know why it's here. It's just too expensive. If you go for
Well, they're kind of pushing you to get the photography plan anyway.
I don't know. I don't know, because this is misleading, and this is a marketing gimmick to deploy people to just like, if they realize, oh, I don't need Lightroom, and they think they're saving more by just getting Photoshop. But the irony of it is that by adding Lightroom, you're paying half the cost of Photoshop itself.
Plus the 20 gig storage.
And 20 gig of storage. So I don't know. Like, and I don't like the fact that this link still even exists. If you search for Adobe Photoshop on Amazon, you will find this. And I don't want
Maybe they just forgot about removing it. That's all.
Maybe, but I don't think I really don't want people to have to run into this, because it's confusing when you can just go over here and get the Adobe Creative Cloud photography plan. And just so that you guys don't get confused, link down below, that's the right one to get, which is the Adobe Creative Plan for both Lightroom and Luminar, and 20 gigabyte of storage. It's 1 month subscription, and you can sign up for a year. Actually, what I really love about this is that it's actually monthly. You're not even tied to 1 year, are you? Yeah, it's only monthly. And
yeah, I pay monthly.
Yeah, if you do not wish, you can just cancel anytime, which is really good, because sometimes they'll advertise like $9.99, but only if you do 1 year commitment, right? This one is only monthly, and you can actually cancel. So it's great. That's the one to get.
I
These
think
other
for
ones,
this photography plan, you can install up to 2 machines.
Yes. All Adobe Creative Cloud allows you to install up to 2 machines, but the license agreement says it can only be used by 1 person, and that 1 person cannot use it on both machines at the same time, obviously.
Yeah, that's why it's not good for me, because I have 4 computers. So I need 2 plans.
Well, no. So I have 3 computers, and I have 1 Adobe Creative plan. The way I do it is, so I use I use 2 of the computers on a daily basis. So they are logged in. When I need to use my laptop and I'm traveling, I just open that laptop and sign into Creative Cloud, and it will say, hey, you have 2 active activation. Which one do you want to deactivate so you can use your laptop? So I pick one of the other 2, I deactivate them, and instantly my laptop can access all the Creative Cloud app.
Yeah, I know, but I was lazy, so I just get another service.
You could. But okay, so there's one disadvantage of activating and deactivating, activating, deactivating, in that when you deactivate one of the other computers, it actually forces all the application to close. So you don't have an option to like save as or anything. Actually, you do, but then you pretty much, when you go back to your other computer that had the app open that you deactivated, it'll just say, do you want to save or not save, save or not save, save or not save. You can't really go back and look at it and say what changes I've made.
I got spoiled because I never turn off my computer or do anything. When I'm done, I crash. I just leave it there and walk away. Same thing as my laptop. So when I come back, it's all the storage. I mean, all that we store here. So it's good. But I can't do that turn on, turn off. When they turn off, imagine I have 60 layers and turn it off.
Yeah.
I got to start all over? No way.
Yeah, well, you better save first. Yeah.
So sometimes you're so into it, you forgot to say. I'm not. You know me. I'm not the production type of guy. I am into getting it fixed kind of guy. So I don't really worry about or think about those kind of things.
You know, the one thing about saving that I hope Adobe figure out a good solution for this that I don't like is that, okay, so say I have a layer of PSD with like 5 layers, right? But I want to save as a JPEG, right? But say I want to merge them all into one layer and save it as a JPEG. So I guess there's a process to do it, but I'm just not using the best process. So what I do is I merge everything and then save it as a JPEG. Then sometimes I forget to unmerge everything. And the autosave, if it asks me, do I want to save before I exit? And I say yes, then I lose the unmerged layers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. You do that.
Yeah, so I have to be very careful. It's like, dang it! I just merged everything just for one export and now I lost everything. So the good thing about not saving and keeping everything on there is you can always go back because you have the history of undo. But once you save
that's why I have so many hard drives, because I save every single PSD.
Different process, right? Like every hour you save a new PSD, or every half an hour a new PSD. Yeah. But yeah, Photoshop, powerful, awesome, amazing. Anything you want to say to wrap it up, Jeremy?
Well, if you want to learn it, ask me. I teach Photoshop.
Yeah, and you can learn it on our website at pixelstabbers.com, and we're going to have a shop area where you can have even one-on-one mentorship with Jeremy, or if you want to just see some of our resources, we're going to have a lot of tutorials by Jeremy himself on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/pixelstabbers or on our website at pixelstabbers.com. And we're going to be sharing some of that stuff on Amazon Live as well. So follow us on Amazon Live, like our videos on Amazon Live, follow us on YouTube, like our videos on YouTube, and check out our website. And until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions or if you have suggestions for more content next time. But until then, we will see you guys. So we're going to sign out. Adios. Have a good night. Bye. We're signing out.
Go to bed now.
Yeah, it's like it's already 12:30 a.m.
Go to bed.
See you guys. Adios.